It's week 6 in the Premier League this weekend already as the action in the top flight continues. And myself, Aidan, Perkins and Chris Rivers are back with some standout bets for the games this weekend. The matches are spread out over Friday, Saturday and Sunday with all 20 Premier League teams in action. And the first bet and first selection we've got for you, Chris, is from the match between Leicester and Tottenham.
Yeah, early kick-off on Saturday. Leicester at home to Spurs, who don't have much time to prepare for this game. Tottenham in action in the Champions League in Greece on Wednesday, then straight back to face a Leicester side who looked pretty good in defeat against Manchester United last weekend. They dominated possession in that game, and now they're at home where they've been pretty strong of late. One defeat in the last 8 matches. Brendan Rodgers has got a good record against Spurs as well, and at 19-10, I think they offer some value against a Tottenham team who have got a woeful away record, just 2 wins in 12 matches away from home, Aidan. I think there's plenty to like about Leicester on Saturday.
Yes, we think Leicester can get a good result against Spurs. Similar odds actually are available for the second selection, and it's Crystal Palace at home to beat Wolves. Now, Palace were beaten actually by Tottenham last week 4-0, and they were pretty dismal, Palace. But at Selhurst Park, they've not been beaten yet this season, and they are a completely different proposition, and they're at home to a Wolves team that just haven't got going at all yet this season in the Premier League. Nuno Espirito Santo's team haven't won at all yet in the Premier League. They were frankly dismal last week against Chelsea. They barely created a chance of note and lost 5-2 at home. And I think Crystal Palace are good value again at 19-10 to get the home win against, as I say, a Wolves side that have been really poor. They seem to be struggling with the dual demands of the Europa League and the Premier League so far this season. So that's our second selection. You've got another selection for us.
Yeah, I've gone for City to beat Watford. No surprise there, but I've increased the odds to 5-4 by going for both teams to score. So City win and both teams to score at 5-4. City, of course, lost last weekend, and I think Watford could be on the receiving ends of a bit of a backlash, although they are travelling out to take on Shakhtar, aren't they, in the Champions League in midweek. But Pep Guardiola likely to rotate his team. But the both teams to score element is where the odds are boosted due to the fact that City at the back looked dreadful against Norwich with Otamendi and Stones together. Now Stones is out injured, along with Laporte. It's going to be Fernandinho and Otamendi, the latter of who has come in for plenty of criticism for his performance. You look at Watford, much improved against Arsenal last Sunday. They had 31 shots on goal. They've scored in their last 3 matches. As I say, I expect City to win this game quite handsomely, but I certainly feel like Watford can get on the score sheet.
With City's defence and the problems they've got, I think it's a wise move to suggest that Watford will at least breach that City back line where they're having so many problems. And our final Premier League standout bet in week 6 is going to be West Ham against Manchester United, Chris. And I think West Ham can get a home win in this one. Manchester United are inconsistent so far this season. They did have a 1-0 win over Leicester last time that was more of a hard-fought win than anything else. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's young side have been a bit up and down so far. Manchester United that is, have actually lost twice at the London Stadium in the last 3 years. So I don't think it's a ground they particularly like to go to. And I think West Ham have looked better this season. Manuel Lanzini, Declan Rice, the summer signing Sebastian Haller have all looked really good for the Hammers in the early weeks of the season. Now, West Ham maybe will be disappointed they didn't get a victory against Aston Villa on Monday night when they were held 0-0. But I just have a fancy for a home win here, and it's 12-5, and I think that's good value for the Hammers to beat Solskjaer's team. So that wraps up our 4 value bets or standout bets for the week 6 in the Premier League. We think that Leicester can beat Tottenham. We also think that Crystal Palace at home to Wolves is a good option for a home win there. Manchester City, Watford, well, we think City will win, but we might be getting some value on both teams to score. And finally, West Ham to beat Manchester United at home at the London Stadium. So that wraps up our Premier League standout bets. Don't forget you can subscribe on YouTube, and you can also follow us on social media.